Words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. He wrapped himself in quotations, as a beggar would enfold himself in the purple of emperors. I always prefer to believe the best of everybody, it saves so much trouble. I never made a mistake in my life, at least, never one that I couldn't explain away afterwards. We're all islands shouting lies to each other across seas of misunderstanding. If history were taught in the form of stories, it would never be forgotten. A woman's guess is much more accurate than a man's certainty. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. For the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. If you can walk with the crowd and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. I am the cat who walks by himself, and all places are alike to me. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Take everything you like seriously, except yourselves. I keep 6 honest serving men, they taught me all I knew, their names are what and why and when and how and where and who. No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. I am, by calling, a dealer in words, and words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. To be your own man is hard business. If you try it, you will be lonely often, and sometimes frightened. But no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. Gardens are not made by singing "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. You must learn to forgive a man when he's in love. He's always a nuisance. Now this is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky, and the wolf that shall keep it may prosper, but the wolf that shall break it must die. As the creeper that girdles the tree trunk the lure runneth forward and back dash, for the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. For the female of the species is more deadly than the male. There is no sin so great as ignorance. Remember this. We have 40 million reasons for failure, but not a single excuse. The world is very lovely, and it's very horrible, and it doesn't care about your life or mine or anything else. This is a brief life, but in its brevity it offers us some splendid moments, some meaningful adventures. My heart is so tired. Buy a pup and your money will buy love unflinching that cannot lie. War is an ill thing, as I surely know, but would be an ill world for weaponless dreamers if evil men were not now and then slain. Now, don't be angry after you've been afraid. That's the worst kind of cowardice. We had a kettle, we let it leak, our not repairing made it worse. We haven't had any tea for a week. The bottom is out of the universe. At 2 o'clock in the morning, if you open your window and listen, you will hear the feet of the wind that is going to call the sun. And the trees in the shadow rustle and the trees in the moonlight glisten, and though it is deep, dark night, you feel that the night is done. All good people agree, and all good people say, all nice people, Like us, are we and everyone else is they, but if you cross over the sea, instead of over the way, you may end by, think of it, looking on we as only a sort of they. All the people like us are we, and everyone else is they. When young lips have drunk deep of the bitter waters of hate, suspicion and despair, all the love in the world will not wholly take away that knowledge, though it may turn darkened eyes for a while to the light, and teach faith where no faith was. The first condition of understanding a foreign country is to smell it. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. I will remember what I was, I am sick of rope and chains. I will remember my old strength and all my forest affairs. I will not sell my back to man for a bundle of sugar cane, I will go out to my own kind, and the woodfolk in their lairs. I will go out until the day, until the morning break. Out to the wind's untainted kiss, the water's clean caress, I will forget my ankle ring and snap my picket stake. I will revisit my lost love and playmates masterless. A time for prayer in times of war and not before, God and the soldier we adore. But in times of peace and all things righted, God is forgotten and the soldier slighted. If you can wait and not be tired of waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. And the first rude sketch that the world has seen was joy to his mighty heart, till the devil whispered behind the leaves, "It's pretty, but is it art?" An unhappy childhood was not an unsuitable preparation for my future, in that it demanded a constant weariness, the habit of observation, and the attendance on moods and tempers, the noting of discrepancies between speech and action, a certain reserve of demeanor, and automatic suspicion of sudden favors. I have my own matches and sulfur, and I'll make my own hell. Asia is not going to be civilized after the methods of the West. There is too much Asia and she is too old. I have seen something of this world, she said over the trays, and there are but two sorts of women in it: those who take the strength out of a man, and those who put it back. Once I was that one, and now I am this. A black shadow dropped down into the circle. It was Bagheera the Black Panther, inky black all over, but with the panther markings showing up in certain lights like the pattern of watered silk. Everybody knew Bagheera, and nobody cared to cross his path, for he was as cunning as Tabaqui, as bold as the wild buffalo, and as reckless as the wounded elephant. But he had a voice as soft as wild honey dripping from a tree, and a skin softer than down. She is intensely human, and lives to look upon life. We be of one blood, ye and I. 20 bridges from tower to Q wanted to know what the river knew, 20 bridges or 22, for they were young, and the Thames was old, and this is the tale that river told. He travels the fastest who travels alone,